In this video we're comparing the brand new Nike Pegasus 37 against the Hoka Clifton Edge. Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back to Fordy Runs. Now if this is your first time at Fordy Runs, I want you to smash that pink button down there that says subscribe on it. Go to our Facebook page and join the Fordy Runs running community, and check out the description. There's loads of cool things, including a link to both of these shoes. Right, so we've got the huge Hoka Clifton Edge versus the brand new Pegasus 37, two neutral daily running shoes, so let's get stuck in. Right guys, so for all my subscribers and all my regular viewers, you may have noticed, and if you haven't, let me know in the comments, that I now have a blue pair of Nike Pegasus 37. There's two reasons why there's a blue pair on this video, not the original ones. The main reason is I got major FOMO from Billy and Eddie who got the blue ones. And secondly, and you've probably done this on some shoes, sometimes if you change the shoe, the fit becomes a little bit better. They're not all made the same, and sometimes if you get a different colour or different variation, slight variation, the fit may be a little bit different. So we'll come on to how they feel and fit in a minute, but that's why they're blue. So let me know in the comments, did you spot the fact that I've got a new pair, a new colourway of the 37s? Let me know. Right, so two daily training running shoes, sort of different takes on it, I would say. If you've not seen the video on the Clifton Edge, I would recommend it. Let's get into some of the stats and the features first before we really dive into which one I prefer and all that sort of stuff. So let's start with the Hoka Clifton Edge. Now this shoe is loosely built around the brand new Clifton 7 that's going to be coming out. You've got the Achilles that pulls away here. Now this shoe is £140 here in the UK. It is weighing in at 8.9 ounces, 252 grams, and that's for a US 9. And you probably have noticed, is the mega extended heel, which allows for this smoother transition. We'll get onto that. You've got this wider upper with the embossed TPU yarn, which adds structure, and particularly around the toe box. Like I mentioned a second ago, the key feature of this shoe is this unique extended heel geometry, which is intended to create a smooth impact. The shoe features a new midsole foam that is softer and lighter, and the unique flared outsole that cradles the foot, and this creates a wider support base. The shoe has a 5mm drop, and its max stack height at the back is 29mm. So then we've got the Nike Pegasus 37, this new incarnation of the hugely popular Nike Pegasus family. This now's got a full-length React foam on it. The zoom units have been moved to the front, so they're no longer spaced down the shoe. They're all up the front, and they've been made thicker versus other versions, and they've tuned the PSI in each bag to make it a softer ride for the women, a slightly harder ride for the men. It's got a newly designed upper on it. It weighs, well, it's quite heavy, it's over 10.5 ounces, and that's about it really. That's about as exciting as it gets. It's £105 here in the UK, which is actually not too bad when you think about it. And firstly, actually, what I am going to do, because it's driving me nuts, but let me know in the comments, do you know shoes that have longer laces than the Clifton Edge, please? Let me know in the comments. Any shoes out there that have longer laces than the Clifton Edge? These have the world's longest laces and the world's longest midsole. So, the Clifton Edge, let's talk about it briefly, because it's quite an interesting shoe, and it's one of the reasons why I got it, because I love interesting shoes. It is really lightweight, much lighter than this, almost 2 ounces. You've got this brand new midsole. It's like a double layered midsole. This top layer is there to add sort of the cushioning. You've got then this slightly firmer sort of second layer, let's call it, which then helps with the propulsion. It's very wide, it's very stable. They've tried to create a sort of solid foundation base. That's probably the worst way of describing it, but like a solid base of which to work off of. You've then got the extended heel, which if you've not seen I think it's called the 10-9 if I remember, which is a trail shoe, which was there to help sort of downward movements when you're coming down from the trails and stuff like that. But the idea is to add stability in the heel. And what this does is this, by doing this, they've said, and I'll get onto whether I feel it, is to aid the transition through the whole shoe. Now obviously it's a Hoka, so it has a slight rocker on it. So the idea is to create this sort of contact pad here, which will take you through, and it all adds stability all the way through with the increased width of it. I think that's what it is. That's kind of how I sort of gauged it. What I was feeling when I was out there was that sort of smooth transition through, and it felt stable. So they've achieved, I think, what they wanted to achieve, if that was what they wanted to achieve. The upper is quite cool actually. I like the way they've added the yarn into the upper. So if you can see that, it's quite stiff at the front, so it's got elements of structure in it, which is quite, what's the best way to describe it? It's nice and supportive actually. You know, you compare it to that, Do you know what I mean? There's nothing there. We'll get onto this shoe in a minute, but look. So again, I prefer the upper on this shoe. I really like that. Nice bit of support for the Achilles, but it does flick away. Lacing, I can't even talk to you about. Tongue is nice, nice and thin. It is attached on the inside of the shoe, slightly there. So again, it's nice and comfortable. But the overall feel of the shoe is nice and lightweight, and it feels great when you're out there on those sort of easy-paced runs. And we'll come on to more about that in a minute. Pegasus 37. The upper, I think, is one of probably the worst uppers on the Nike Pegasus of recent times. It just feels cheap. I think the overall quality of the shoe is cheap. If you look at that, there's just bits of glue on it. And I think Nike's really going down with their quality at the moment in some of their shoes, even like the Carbon X. I mean, Carbon X, the Alpha Fly, even though it's £260, it still doesn't feel that well made compared to some of the other shoes out there at the moment, like the Carbon X. Talk about the Carbon X. Anyway, I like the React foam. I'm a huge fan of the React foam on all the Nike shoes, and I'm really pleased that it's on here. The Zoom units, you do feel that slight pop as you come off of it. It does feel relatively heavy when you're running along in it, but if you're using it as a daily trainer like both of these shoes are meant to, the weight shouldn't be that much of a problem for you. The tongue is very similar to the Hoka, actually. It's another reason why I'm comparing them, so it's a lot of similar features along the way. And you could say, actually, at the back, it's got a slight fin on the back as well, isn't it? Look here. So yeah, not as bad as that, but can you see what I mean? So again, it's all about stability. The outsole on the Pegasus is amazing. I mean, it's good actually, because these are the new ones, so you can see it nice and clearly where these are new now. How well grip it is. How well grip. My English is terrible today. How good the grip is. These are great for down the canal paths. That's why I buy Nike Pegasus for me. Where I run down the tow paths, the canal paths, this is awesome. They really do help me down there. Give me plenty of grip. This is okay, the outsole. I've run these mainly on the roads since I've had these. And there is some concerns about durability of this outsole. It's like, what's the best way? It's like a rubberized EVA is the best way to describe it. So it'd be interesting to see how they do wear. But so far, you know, it's been grippy enough. Not run them in the rain because we haven't had much rain over here in the UK recently. But yeah, it's so far so good, but I am a bit concerned how that will hold up. But it should be okay. So, which do I think is best? Because that's why you're here. For me personally, I think the Nike Pegasus is an amazing daily training shoe. It is, you know, the cornerstone of the daily trainer. I think they've messed this shoe up a bit. They've tried to tweak it in certain ways, and I don't think it's worked. A lot of people are complaining about heel slippage, which you can get around if you do a runner's knot. But people are complaining about heel slippage. People have been complaining about the overall weight of the shoe. I mean, like I said, this is 2 ounces heavier. The upper is not the best they've ever made. And the biggest complaint about this shoe, I think, is the fact that it's quite narrow. Now, you can get a wide version if you do the Nike For You thing. But I would recommend that you try the shoe on before you buy it, because it is narrow. And they have gone narrower versus the previous model. So I think this is, I mean, this is still a good shoe, yeah, but I think they could have made it so much better. The React foam is awesome. The fact that they've moved the zoom pockets to the front, it feels great. But I just think they could have shaved a bit of weight off of it, done a little bit more with the upper, and improved on the quality. This shoe, which is great, I love how lightweight it is, 8.6 ounces, I think I said it was, and the lightweight midsole on it, it just feels great. The lacing, the upper, I really love the upper on this, but the problem I think with this is just it feels too much of shoe. You are conscious when you are running in it. You feel like you've got boxes on your feet to a degree. It's not particularly, I mean, it was all right when I picked up the pace, but again, I was conscious of the size of the shoe. And that for me is a little bit of a distraction. I just want a daily train I can just stick on, get out the door and running. You know, for example, like the Evo Ride or the New Balance Prism, you know, great daily training shoes. This, I get why they do it, but I mean, why would you not buy the Clifton 7? I don't see why you would not buy the Clifton 7 over this because of how it looks and all that sort of stuff. Yes, it's light. Yes, the EVA foam and the midsole, sorry, is a great job that they've done. The upper's fantastic, but just buy the Clifton 7 personally, yeah? So wait for that to come out, get the Clifton 7. And if I had to decide between the two, well, I would actually probably buy neither, to be honest with you, on reflection, even though I bought both these, if that makes any sense. But if I was you, I wouldn't even buy both of these shoes. I would actually go out and I'd look at something else. There's great shoes from New Balance. Have a look at the Nike Miler, for example, versus the Pegasus 37. There's other great shoes out there from like Saucony, Brooks, fantastic shoes. Asics shoes at the moment are absolutely killing it. The Nova Blast, which I don't get on with because it's, you know, quite unstable for me with the way I pronate, fatigue pronate, if I could speak properly, is a much better shoe, I think, than the Nike Pegasus 37 and this, you know, and that is lighter. Probably not as light as this. I can't remember the weight on it, but again, you know, there's better shoes out there. You can pick up some really good shoes under £100 as well, which will probably do a better job than both of these shoes. So that's my conclusion. We took a long time to get there, but for me, if you're looking for a daily training shoe between these two, go and get something else.